Oh, hello. Bethany Londyn here with HealthAddiKt podcast and Stephen Hersey, who I originally met at one of my workshops. And then we re-met at YouTube. And I was like, okay, I guess it was all meant to be. And now we got to have you on our HealthAddiKt because he's powerful and intuitive in his training. And it's actually very fascinating. And I keep learning more today. And we spoke to Batista earlier, so you can check out the previous episode for that one. But Dr. Fitness USA.
That's good, because I always ask, is there a doctor in the house? I always say, of course, it's myself.
And you really do have a doctorate?
No, actually, it's an honorary title.
It's an honorary title.
Yeah, it's great.
I have an honorary title for training I did as well.
Yeah,
they say PhD. I'm a doctor.
It's great. I don't pass myself out as a medical doctor or make medical claims or anything like that, but I am an empowerment speaker, and I can get a woman to go from 0 to unlimited, no matter where she's at in her life.
0
independent of anybody
We're talking
else.
about energy.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Just clarifying. Okay, so you originally did competitions?
No, I've never done any of that. I'm an international body designer, which means that I have the unique ability to read the music to the body. So if somebody comes to see me, I can tell how they can be 80% more and what would be the avenue to take. But they have no idea they're there yet. It's a vision.
It's a vision, like seeing my aura.
Well, I have a lot of experience. What I didn't say is I'm 68 years old.
Wow.
And when people think of fitness, they're expecting the usual questions about diet, aerobics, core training. That's all a myth. What women want to know, or men, if they listen, is how they can have a better relationship with themselves and how they can have a better relationship with their business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a dynamic.
Men are the providers.
Well, the women could be the providers too. It's a question of, well, if we talk about women, because of responsibilities or stress that goes on in their life, the tendency is to go in, it's intellectual data that's fed to their head. Head up is money and logic, and neck down is sweetness and sexuality. So in life, most women, from my experience, go intellectual. And once they go there, if they stay there more than 24 hours a day, which is very easy to do, as you witness, they kill their immune system. Now, they can't get back to their body. Some people hire a trainer, or they do CrossFit, so to speak, or they do other modalities. Even though it's physical, they're mostly doing it from their intellectual logic. They're doing things that are actually uncomfortable to their body, and they're adding more to their stress level. So the normal premise is they go to seminars. They want to have a better loving relationship. What's happening in a seminar? They're getting more and more intellectual data. They got more intellectual data that they can't process.
Careful, I coach those. I'm all about getting into the body, though. That's
the thing is, it's the seminars. Okay, I can help here. It's not that the seminars are invaluable. It's not invaluable when somebody goes to a chiropractor, but nobody is telling the person where to go when they leave the seminar. Nobody is telling the person where to go when they leave the chiropractor's office. They're believing that all this information from either party is going to get them to seventh heaven.
Yeah, so you're in seventh heaven for the weekend,
no,
and you're on your own.
What they have to do is they have to strengthen their nervous system. They have to. So there's when you talk about fitness, people have all these ideas about fitness, okay? But each one has a different component. So if you met a doctor and he said, I'm a gynecologist, so to speak, or you ask him what modality of medicine do you teach, or you go to a dentist, are you a do you deal with gums? You ask clarifying questions. But in the outside world, if you run into somebody that's doing fitness, they go, oh, I do CrossFit. Oh, I do yoga. You know, they're so limited in what's really going on in the world that they don't use the appropriate tools as their hormones change and their life circumstances change to actually create a better lifestyle for them. So they get into relationships and they ruin it. Well, I can
Keep
say...
going.
Well,
I'm listening.
well, my last conversation was about getting women to actually listen and it could be two women, two men, whatever it is, but mostly when women get into a relationship, when men find out that you're smart and you're capable and women love to give, they're going to use you till you drop. You're never going to get out of it. You can't, because you become a prisoner of your intellectual. You'll keep on giving, and there's no way of stopping. So if you're in a relationship with a man, especially when they're getting like older, the women, and their body is changing drastically, I ask the men to consider this. If you really want to love your woman, go buy a membership to a gym, okay? Take your woman and put her in the car, drive her to the gym, make sure she works out, and then waits for her and drives her back. You see? And after 2 or 3 times, it'll become a habit, providing they do an exercise comfortable to their body. They can't get to the gym themselves. Whenever I go to a mixer or older women, they have absolutely destroyed their body. And what happens is, what I'm talking about men is because men live in the years of yesteryear. So if they fell in love, they're looking at the woman how she was when they met them. They don't understand that the woman that they're addressing today, especially if there's no kids or the kids left for home or they both have a job, now they're facing an empty void. So what happens is they've got nowhere to go because the woman, because she gave too much, is not beautiful anymore in a sense. She's older, her hormones have changed, her posture's changed, and the man is always saying, oh, I love my wife. But does he love his wife? They really became friends because the image of who she is totally different in the way that men see women in the world. When I have men come to my office and I have a muscular picture of a healthy woman, they can't, and that's not my type, they can't take their eyes off that woman. They go, oh my God, look at this woman. You know? And then they go home to their wife or significant other and they don't offer that woman anything. So in my own world, Batista, who actually was the best flamenco dancer in the world, and she had all these people don't know her history. She's an amazing person. So I got married when I was like 62. Okay? Why? Because I want to make a commitment. Okay, so what happens is, and we can go with that, but what happens is she'll work at the business. She's so smart, she could work at the business 12, 15 hours a day. But you know what happens? After about the 4th or 5th day, she's not the same person anymore. She's 15 years older. The stress in her face, the way she talks to me is like unbelievable. The way she perceives herself. And she can't stop. She's thinking even when she's sleeping. And when she takes my program, because it is a prescription, because she's experienced now, she's a better woman because she knows how to take care of herself. She learns to say no. Okay? Or it's okay for me to come and say, you stop the business now, and the time is yours. So she goes to the gym and she comes back 15, 20 years younger. This is absolutely a miracle.
Okay, but why is this all relying on the women?
Because...
Because you're a guy?
No, that's if you're in a relationship with a guy. Okay? If you're a woman, you're facing the same situation. The women stop listening. They're too much in their intellectual mind. They don't hear the softness of the conversation. In the body design program, we teach women never to do anything that feels uncomfortable. It comes from inside out, the energy. See, I'll give you an example, because I talk from real experiences. You can look it up, art couture. What is art couture? Art couture, there's 3 main schools in the whole world that teach.
How do you spell that?
A-R-T, the art couture. It's a college in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
It's the one of the top 3 premier schools in the whole world. They teach designers how to create the dresses for Vogue magazine.
Got it.
It's a very prestigious school. So through a third-hand introduction, now I meet the owner, Sonia Ete, and you have to have a third-hand introduction because women who are busy or in high places won't talk to you. Okay? So anyways.
Warm intro.
So anyways, her stress level is that she was leaving to meet the king of Morocco. This is political.
Yeah.
It was the greatest time in her life and she's actually the teacher for the college where she teaches 12, 15 hours a day.
Wow.
I motivated her to such an extent. Well, I didn't have to, I presented her an idea. And for a woman that's almost 60 years old, that looks super feminine, it was kind of shocking to know that she said, I think I could be a competition bodybuilder. You see, the women really want to be stronger.
Yeah,
and so,
sure.
when they come for an office visit, we do take photos, and I discovered that this woman, at although 60, has a body of a 40-year-old. She's incomplete. She didn't have an opportunity to express herself. So how do I reach a woman like that? I ask her, how would you like to feel being in a dress like the models that you choose? See, I came from a feeling side. So anyways, I only see personally, I only work with maybe 10 people a year. You got to qualify to work with me. You know, I'm not trying to relive my childhood. But
yeah.
Okay, so here's a person, they show up at the gym. Well, I actually created the script.
Do they work with you for a whole entire year?
No. I need 3 sessions, 3 hours each.
Okay.
Because I program their body. So what happens is I create, sometimes there's like 26 hours of intellectual work into the business plan or the program they're about to embark on. And then I took Batista out of retirement because she's the highest level teacher or personal trainer in the world. She's a 7th degree level teacher. And so we show up at the gym. So you have Sonia, you have Batista, and you have me. I built the car engine, so to speak. So here's the magical. She looked great in the gym. You know, she had this little outfit and everything like that. And then it's an angulated leg press. And I asked her, well, did you ever use this? She said, no. I usually use this one. I said, okay. So anyways, we go through the whole thing. We show her how to work it and everything. She's smiling. She's happy to say. And then with no weight. And then we put like 90 pounds on, not even that, like 75 pounds. And then we show her how to do it. And she lights up. Okay? But she's at her limit. That's as far as she can go at the moment. And I say, how would you like to be lifting 340 pounds in 20 minutes? And I show it on camera. I can physically show the camera that she lifted 340 pounds easily. And her face lit up and her mind went quiet. So I teach women that they have an ability that they didn't know was possible. It's even stronger than Tony Robbins because when they walk on the coals scientifically aren't really that hot underneath. But when you have to physically lift a weight, you have to be really, really together mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And when women lift a certain amount of weight, they go physically quiet. Because I don't stand anywhere near them. I don't touch the weight. I just talk to them quietly, and I give them the instructions. And Batista shakes, and I stand back. And that's another phenomenon, because when women have emotional issues, usually they carry it in their chest. So when they lift a certain weight on a certain angle, They can relieve emotional stress that's been stored up in the body.
Well,
20
your
to
heart
20.
chakra too.
Well, you can talk to a woman all you want, but if she can lift the weight in a certain angle or a certain way, the stress will leave her body. So what a trainer will do is they'll take a person, a woman, and lie her down, right? So there's fears in life, rejection, abandonment, noise, and failure. When you lie a woman down, she's out of control. So you got to be really careful what you're really doing when you ask a woman to enter an environment like a gym.
So this is like a
Yeah.
personal development.
Yeah, I will say
in all aspects because it's physical.
Yeah, like I won't go into every single thing, but I'm sitting at a master acupuncturist that's on top of the world, and they're living in Beverly Hills, and they're very famous. And I look at her and I say, "What's going on in your life?" Nothing. Within 2 months, she's divorced. She's already on her way marrying a multi-millionaire. Yes. Or you ask about the bar method. And I can go a plug as Rosita Tan Dental. I can cut it really short. I go visit her, and she's an amazing person. I look in her face. She's beautiful. She's the most successful dentist. Everything's going great. And I see the stress on her face, and I say, "You ought to be doing my program." He said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "I do the bar method." Well, I said, "Read my book, Posture for Power." 2.5 years later, she's on camera that says my program is stronger than medicine. I have several women that said that they were scheduled for immediate operations for whatever condition. They nixed it and just did my program, no operation. See? When you strengthen your nervous system and you have a plan of action, it calms the body down, and all those pains that you suffer during the daytime don't even exist when you go to a gym. So I don't promote CrossFit because it doesn't support your body properly. So I don't know your history, but we can say that your mother was your dominant force in your relationship. I don't know who was there or wasn't, okay?
I mean, well, my dad was at work. My mom was at home.
Yeah, but who was the dominant person in your relationship? Who was the stronger person in the relationship? Who was the man in the relationship? Who said what they think and want?
My dad. Well, both of them. Both of them.
Well, you got a little bit of both of them, okay. So what happens is what happens is you're so beautiful and everything, but what happens is I wouldn't suggest CrossFit because your neck, it can't relax. It's contracted all the time.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
every time I get a massage, they're like, "I need 3 hours on you."
No, because you need a specialty. You need a neuromuscular specialist. You can't use a regular massage therapist. You need you see, that's where I know how to.
A neuromassage.
A neuromuscular. A specialist. I have one. No, I don't. I'm not the massage therapist, but you need a certain one because what happens is your neck is guarded. So when you did the CrossFit, you couldn't support your body properly, and you couldn't work on your body in a way that as time goes on, your body becomes more in balance and more beautiful, and it helps to handle the stress that comes with life.
It's an outlet, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when Batista came to see me, her issue was she had a pretty good body, but she had a square back, and she covered it by wearing flamingo clothes. She was carrying too much fat in her lower legs, even though she had nice legs. And within 3 weeks' time, I developed an exercise where she was exercising with over 500 pounds. It put her back in place and produced the leg of a 20-year-old. She had no shoulder presses because I concluded she didn't want to look like a bodybuilder. So there's a lot of things that go on in designing. And one of them is gym research. So I don't promote usually personal trainer gyms, CrossFit, exercise in the park. Why? I mean,
what I like about all of those is really like CrossFit is phenomenal, and just in reading these marketing books that I've been reading, it's all about community, and that's what keeps people going.
That is true, but hey, let me add something, that when you go to a place, and I'll give it a plug, if you go to a place like Gold's Gym, you'll have more community than you ever imagined. It would be just like being in the middle of Africa with every single animal imaginable. But what's amazing is, like Batista said, the most beautiful women in the world, like stick figures, the little girls next door, they have taken to weight training like you cannot believe. I can't believe what they're doing. They're not conscious of it. Conscious would mean that if they do something for their butt, so to speak, they put a bar on the neck, but they don't cushion the bar. They put the steel on there. Yeah, but they're not aware of certain cautions that you take so that you don't get the fur pain later on. And another thing that happens is...
You're saying it is better to have the bar than the cushion.
No, it's better to have a cushion on the bar.
Okay.
In a person like you, if you came to me, okay, you would never do a squat. You would never do a lunge. They're useless exercises for your body. You have a certain look or a certain beauty to it that you
Now, is this for me?
Yeah, personally, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so somebody else might get the lunge.
No, usually I don't use, I usually don't, okay, 9 out of 10 I never use the squat or the lunge.
Okay.
They're inefficient exercises. There's machines in the gym that actually simulate a lunge. There's $5,000 machines that people don't know about that can do the same exercise comfortably. Right? Okay? So what happens is there's the young generation that comes in, and I see it all the time, and some of them have really nice looking bodies. We'll use a medical term. They're doing 1,001 leg exercises. They have no consciousness of their upper body. See? So their body is built on a narrow frame like a basketball player, so their world is limited. You have to actually know how to expand, stretch the tissue under the shoulder blades to create a waistline. You have to, there's a dance to learn in the body design programs that actually make the program looking forward and interesting, because the outcome is a big payoff.
So how is the program tailored when it sounds like a lot of your stuff's very custom?
Well, now we created programs that if, there's two avenues of they can come in and have a conversation with me, and it can be customized, okay? If they're at a very limited level, they can take the programs, individual programs, and just take it, buy it, okay, take it, and just go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
The reason is that it's different than a commercial videotape. So you can buy a high-end videotape that shows all about this exercise, but when you buy a videotape from me, it's almost as if you're standing beside me. For me,
I'm not getting your intuitive capabilities though.
But the program's been tested on very accomplished people, and what happens is it puts all the components in place. Should the person want to do more with me later,
It's a phone call away.
Yeah, what happens is we've tested the program. It works like a Swiss clock on very accomplished women. What it means is that if they decide to go into a customized or highest level, I can take an exercise and increase their strength. I can increase the weight by 100 pounds in one shot. See, I have a system, okay? We've tested it. So everything that they've done isn't wasted. They might stay there, or they might use it as part of their it would be much higher than just doing yoga by itself. Because when I work with yoga
Do you
masters,
recommend doing multiple?
no, in the beginning.
Cardio, what about cardio?
I think that the strength training is the strongest in the beginning. Once you have 3 or 4 months of allowing your body to get stronger and learning a new habit or activity, you can start to add back some of the things that make you feel more of a complete person. So I don't discount yoga, and I don't discount Pilates, and I don't discount any of it. But supposing you had a very busy day, and all you had
and you only had 40 minutes to be at your peak, that you needed that, instead of a cup of coffee, you needed to be 90% stronger.
Do you drink coffee?
No.
Keep
Okay?
going.
You could go to the gym and in 20 minutes, you'll be at least 70% stronger. You can leave that gym and that strength will stay with you for 3 or 4 weeks. You can travel, you can do whatever you want because it's programmed in your body. Your confidence, your ability, and I have a special system that supports your spine, that's the secret sauce, you're always secure. No matter where you are, you can come back 2 years later, you'll still be able to do it. It's sustainable. We have videos that show that people are doing my program after 30 years. And you can see how they look before, and you can see how they look today. And you'd be astonished that there's 30 years separating both of them. You can't tell.
Awesome.
So people always ask me, am I working my arms how many times a day? Because I'm working my arms. They ask me the stupidest questions, sorry. I do 3 sets for my bicep. Why? Because I'm on a prescription. There are other parts of me, just like everybody else. I'm still working on them. Okay? I'd love to be like the guys that you picture spending like an hour pumping their arms. I don't pump my arms, I pump my brain. The brain has a certain pathway connecting who you are. So I follow the prescription. If I don't follow the prescription, like some people, we fall off, we see somebody doing some other exercise, we suffer the pain afterwards. So I've learned to stay on the prescription. It's very precise.
So people aren't sore afterwards?
When you first start, whenever you start an exercise, you're sore for, it depends on what condition your body's in, but you get sore for 2 or 3 days, but it's a good sore. And then afterwards, it's all uphill. In a good way.
So,
yeah, a lot of times we do an exercise and it's very profound. And then 3 days later, the person does the exercise and they go, "Oh my God, what hit me?" See, they're smart. They're a smarty pants. "Oh, I worked out before. You really you did that? I didn't scream at you, yell at you." But it's profound. Okay. It's kind of like an acupuncturist, if you go to a really good acupuncturist, they know exactly where to put the needle. So when you come to me, I know exactly where to put the needle. And besides, there's a communication between myself and the student, not a client. The student, we ask questions. Are you comfortable? And I can tell, let's change the angle, let's change the exercise, let's work at it. There's 50,000 exercises in there. Surely, if I'm a designer, I can find a comfortable pair of shoes for you. So the latest thing is we have marriage family therapists that are teaching my program. And they have their own practice, but what they discover is that when they teach my program, the people are doing similar exercise, so they know it works, or they've had that feeling where they were at and where they're at today, and they feel really good about transferring the teachings. There's a lot of teachings, and they notice that when trainers work with people, that they don't do any of the exercise, they do themselves. And I'm in the gym not often, but I go like 3 times a week. People want to know. The exercise that people are teaching all these young people or these older adults, it's not going to ever get them to where they want to go. They got a schedule. They give you exercise. The more confused you are, the more they torture you, the more you're going to...
The more clothes I have, the less I know what to put on.
It just amazes me. And then the older men, you can't touch the older men. They're like old fogies. Because they're 60 years. But the funny is, when they go to the gym, you should see how they train. They're trying to train like they used to. That means they're trying to lift the weight that they used to from 30 years ago. So when they go lift it, their posture is distorted. You know, it's like a nightmare. Right? You see what they're doing. It's like they haven't evolved, is what I'm trying to say. You have to be able to evolve or have a program that can be adjusted so it goes with who you are. Your relationships will change. Your composition of your body will change. So for women, when they come to see me, I'm going to change the way they perceive losing weight, because I can show somebody that lost 100 pounds in a year, and I didn't talk about diet or aerobics, but they changed shape. What I did was I changed the music, how they perceive or enjoy exercise. I got them the comfortable pair of shoes, and we substituted a fat cell for a muscular cell.
So, healthAddiKt is all about shifting awareness around health for people. We've talked to people that have MS, people that have fought cancer, ovarian cancer, and just different things. So where would you apply this?
I love that you brought that up. Because like I mentioned about yoga and all that stuff, it's not negative, but people are not really up to date on what's available to them because they're stuck in this mental places. But if there wasn't bodybuilding or strength training, some people would be dead. You have some women that, because this is LA, that are very beautiful looking, but they have they lost the use of their legs. They come in wheelchairs. There's people that come in there that have multiple sclerosis. There's some people that you wonder how they even live with all that disability, but they're healthy looking, they're smiling, and they know how to train. It's amazing. The gym is a place for everybody. If you go to the new LA Fitnesses, because they have better, this is what's happening, the revolution is because the gyms have better equipment, like the new LA Fitnesses, people, when they go in there, are having much more of a workout. In other words, they can do a leg press and come in, even 13 or 14-year-olds come in, they do a leg press and they train with over 200 pounds easily. And then they go do all their other activities. There's a whole revolution happening because there's more equipment available, and when you have strong leg exercises, you have a different energy in the gym. It's a high-end energy, not like aerobics, because there's always a separate room for aerobics, but they won't miss out on anything. Like a Gold's Gym, you have like serious weight training, but you also have a room that they do dance too. So there's a very big community actually that's existing. And one of the things that I thought about today was that when parents have children, they always want to like communicate with them, or the children sometimes want to impress the parents. But there's a revolution today that there is no way that parents can understand their children. They're smarter, they have more technology available to them, and the parents try to force their ideas on their children. It doesn't work, or the children don't want to be
Look, Mom,
they don't want to be seen with Dad because it's too embarrassing. But guess what? If the parents went to the gym and bought a membership, that's where they come together.
Yeah.
What? You're a kid. You're come to.
I used to go to work out with my mom
Yeah.
every morning at 5:30 before high school.
You see, it's bonding. When you go to the gym, the children expect, oh, my mom's working out. She's okay. The children say, oh, my child's safe. It comes together. And some of the things, especially in divorce and things like that, the most imaginable things I've ever seen is where you have a big, lumpy guy, like huge, and you have a tiny girl, maybe Indonesian, with a small little face. She looks like 11, maybe she's 14. They're beside the father, and they're working out. And the bond is, you could cry. They are so together. I think men have a really sweet side, and the women today have too much of a hard intellectual side, and they don't know how to balance their energy. So when I develop a program, it's going to happen automatically that they're going to come out in a way that they're both in harmony with each other. And the way to get to the way to get to keep the relationship healthy for most of them is to have a program and actually a commitment to go to the gym and work out. So that's another thing. People say, I'm not committed. Well, I override your nervous system. So that's the commitment. As soon as you feel strong, or 20 or 30% stronger, you'll be back. If nobody's telling you what to do and you felt wonderful and you were 20 or 30% stronger just by doing one exercise, you'll be back.
Are people crying in the gym with you?
No, they only if we look at photos, they never cry. They're totally enthralled with the new you, with the new them.
Tears of joy.
Yeah, Tuesday. Well, if you go to my website and things like that, how come? For women, when I talk about my programs or something, how many women will actually go to my website and listen to 6 syndicated shows by powerful women who've done the 5 years of yoga and everything and be blown away by the information available to them. None of them. Most of them will not listen. You know, there's a thing that why do men not listen and women don't read roadmaps? Now it's different. Women don't listen. They're not really in communication with men, and they don't know that, especially if they're in a relationship with an older man, that men sometimes get sick out of nowhere. Now, if they don't take care of themselves, they're going to have to do twice the work, because when men get sick, we're pretty big babies. Oh yeah, we're pretty big babies. And I have to say, I'm proud that when I met Batista, this conversation didn't hold well with her ears, except for the part where I said women need to learn how to stop giving, and women are not responsible for men's feelings. Now let me tell you, I'm a guy, I can lay a trip on her anytime, and she could just stop me dead. If I hurt her feelings or I try to lay a trip on her, she'll just go eat, read a newspaper, go back to work, ignore me. And I'll go like ballistic. And guess what? I figure out, if I hurt her feelings anymore, I'm going to pay for it. So I modify my behavior. So it made me feel good because I was male enough to take action.
Be responsible.
Right, and allowing her, she would go to gym anyways, but I feel good because I wasn't selfish in stealing her time, because when men steal women's time, they get older and they don't have the same opportunity as men in older years. This is LA, it could be other places. But men, if they're old and kind of ugly or scrappy and have a little bit of money, or they have a soft voice or something, women fall all over them. But women don't have that opportunity anymore. The revolution in the gym, if women don't think I'm saying something good, the men in their 50s and 60s are going out with 25-year-old women. There are men in there that have established families, living in $1 million houses, that are giving it all up to be with a 25-year-old woman or 26 and leave their family life and be very comfortable with getting divorced and losing it all. Youth is where it's at. So if you have so the point is that I think Batista is 56 or 57. She's updated her body continuously. So when I go out and I meet couples, they come home to a woman that's totally different. They haven't updated their body, and they don't know what to do with it, because men, when their woman changes shape, it's very confusing for them. And men don't want to really be responsible for women. In that sense, it's up to a woman to be responsible for her health. It's not up to give the power away to a man.
I agree.
And a lot of women do that.
So, if you were to summarize this,
okay, go
in 3 points.
Yes.
Giving value outside of just your program, what would you say?
Okay, strength training is the tool. And there's 3 things to be successful: is a mindset, a healthy mindset. Yeah. The second thing, which is totally overlooked, is environment. If you're in the wrong shoe store, you might never be happy. Now, some women are okay with that, but I know you wouldn't be.
No.
Okay, because you have to have the right shoes. And the third thing is you need a plan of action, because every exercise is attached to emotion or to an outcome and a sequence. And so that's very important also. And I also
dive into that a little bit more.
Well, you need a plan. You need a business plan of what you would do in this environment. So I ask women, if you had a trainer that you listen, I have pro trainers who will work for me. Okay.
Yeah.
All I do is I stand beside him. I say, if I gave you a woman or a man, how would that person feel? I say, the guy will kill him. The woman will kill him. How can I hire them? Okay? So I say, if you have a trainer that's so fantastic, because this is what happens, women or men do this. Oh, I have a trainer. I want to know how great you are. So go home and take your program, and most of them don't have anything written down, okay? 10 exercises. 1. That exercise didn't feel really good. Oh, go to exercise, meditate on it. That exercise didn't feel really good either. See? I did that with my sister, where I actually went, she's in San Diego, so I go in the gym with her, I hadn't seen her in 20 years. I say, okay, you got a great trainer? Let me see the training room. Okay, show me 6 exercises. She shows me 6 exercises. That's very funny because your trainer just destroyed, 5 out of 6 exercises, he just destroyed your body. And then I put on video how I recorrected every exercise he showed her. So from lifting like 40 pounds in pain, she went to 150, comfortably. Weight's a factor. Women don't understand that weight is a factor. Now, a trainer could get you stronger, but they might make you stronger in the wrong place. Some trainers, they give too much weight to women, and then what they don't know is they quit, and then they have to have knee replacements, hip replacements. You got to be careful. When I say lift heavy weight, we only take what we need to fill up the gas tank. Because when you lift a certain amount of weight in your lower extremities, it'll dictate how much weight you can lift for your upper body, which you need to actually lift a certain amount of weight to develop the muscles that you're missing. So if your leg program is too weak, then your upper body exercise will be below the limit. So when you work out a few times and your body's not used to it, you think everything's working. Change the thermostat in a room, and you'll feel cold or hot. But the body adapts. Mm-hmm. It adapts really fast. So you got to know what you're doing. You know, I see a woman it's not you. They're athletic. They're sitting in these leg presses. You know, there's some weights. You put a pin in. You see, it's 30 pounds. Are you out of your mind? I can't say anything. I got to behave myself in the gym, okay? But it's frightening.
Be kicked out.
So in my program, if I did them the same exercise, their first day they would be at 110. Okay. By the third time in the gym, they're now at almost 190. I physically prove it to women, their ability. Now, I know you make faces, but when they lift...
I am making faces. I'm thinking about when I did CrossFit, I think I PR'd, I think I did 250 deadlift or something like that.
Yeah, because your body isn't... I'm an ergonomic expert, so your body, you can listen to by Dr. Aaron Orpelli, best chiropractor in Beverly Hills. You can go to his website. He has a video. He talks about my system. We can reverse degenerative disc disease. We can do a lot of different things if they follow the prescription precisely. It's amazing. In my program, there's stretch exercises. There's things that are very exciting to do, and they're very exquisite at meditative exercises. So they're just thinking of muscle groups. Oh, I train my arms, my neck, my back. They're just very broad-sided. They don't understand that there's an art to where they want to go. And then you can customize it to what activity that they want to excel in. And some people will just use a program as what we call occupational therapy. When they get nervous or they don't feel good that day, they have something that they have a plan of action, and when they finish, they'll feel really, really comfortable about themselves. So that's
So workout, strength training, change your life.
Well, the tool is weight to strength training specifically, and the thing is to always be comfortable in your decisions and ask a lot of questions. And Aaron Orpelli, he says, ask a lot of questions. I find that women don't ask questions because when women, you can't negotiate a feeling. So when you're talking especially to a male, if you ask a question, we have something to work with. If you don't like what the person is saying, this is very funny. Sometimes you go into a room and you show a picture of a muscular woman, okay? So from before and after. So that's an attestation of what the possibility is. So some people go, oh, that's ugly. I don't want muscles. Mm-hmm. I don't want muscles. Now, if you go into an art gallery and the painting is ugly, they'll say, oh, isn't it beautiful? What you're witnessing is an emotional reaction. Mm-hmm. I could say that's a very muscular picture, but is a way that you can get me a little more streamlined with all the work that might take. You understand? There's an art in negotiation. I teach women how to role play. Like instead of being argumentative, you can say, here's something. You raise your voice. Sound. Fear. Sound. Harry! Oh. I love the way you think. It is amazing. However, would you consider doing it my way? And the guy will go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. You see, but what will happen is the woman will keep on arguing with them. Another thing that I tell people when they go in an interview, when you're dealing with a high-powered woman, for women, if they're in a conversation, they need to not be in it if they want to make a decision under 7 minutes, because men have testosterone. We can outfocus women. So the woman doctor calls me on the phone and she says, I really, okay, how much is it? Why can't you? And I'll say, doctor, you need to come to my office. But they don't hear. But I have testosterone, so I keep repeating it. You must come to my doctor. You must come. And in about 7 minutes, she'll say, oh, okay, I'll come to your office. You understand? It's a phenomenal thing. So it can work either way for men or women. You have to know how to negotiate what's really going on. Yeah, so I'm kind to women and I'm kind to men. Well, I'm not that kind to men, because men cheat women every day of their life. They don't really offer what I was talking about previously. Women's time is more limited because as they get older, they can't be a little girl anymore. They produce more progesterone and their whole being is masculine. They can appear feminine, but most of the time they're masculine. So the younger years, like in your years, you can balance like an actor. You can sometimes be feminine and you could be masculine. And how you know which is which? In business, you always say what you think and want. And in social, you always say how you feel and what you don't want. You never say what you think. Because then you get into logic and men will always beat you down. So a lot of times when I'm talking to Batista, she says, I'm allowed to not want. Oh my God, okay. She stops me dead because there's no negotiation. Any man that wants to knock a woman down when she expresses a feeling is a fool. And any woman that wants to fight with a man about logic is a fool also, because men feel love when you tell a man you like the way he thinks, even though it could be really rotten. Yeah, I know, but you got to practice the waltz. It's not.
So sorry for all the people on the podcast. You're not catching all my facial expressions.
Yeah, I know. It's all new.
It's all in the video.
Yeah, but you'll see when I'm talking with.
Well, that's part of it is owning your voice.
Yeah.
A lot of women do not own their voice, and that holds them back in so many ways.
So the body design in Dr. Fitness is a lot more than just lifting weights. It's a system that facilitates the greatness about who you are. Right. And it doesn't let you be less than how you are. And it provides a feminine system of how to get there comfortably and you be the driver. Mm-hmm. Don't rely on your trainer or somebody else to tell.
Rely
you
on
could
your
still
feelings,
you
what your
could,
body's
you could
telling
still
you.
You could still be kind, or you can still learn, but you have to ask questions.
Yeah.
You know, I see couples they're working together in the gym. Don't work with a man and woman together in the gym. Why? Because you'll be the guy's training partner. Don't you know women are smart? They can do 5 different things while the guy's still doing one. You'll sit there like a bump on a log, and what'll happen? You'll get older, and he'll get maybe more muscles. And you have that. Years ago, Beverly Hills 2010.
90210.
Yeah, where the guy was a plastic surgeon. He would go out and do karate, he would do exercise bivy, and what would happen? The wife would stay home and do nothing. The next episode, maybe a year later, he gave her a baby. Now she had something to do. Okay, but he still went out to exercise. He didn't offer her any exercise. Exercise, in a certain way, is the best antidote and medicine for women's health.
All right, there you have it. Therapy.
And you can go to drfitnessusa.com.
You can check him out, drfitnessusa.com. You can check out Batista's books and whatever you do.
It was a charming interview, wouldn't you say?
Get to the gym. get your muscles pumping, but in a relaxed state.
Yes. Yeah, there's always an exercise that's comfortable to your body. You just have to meditate on it.
Meditate on it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you were as inspired as I was for that last message. So powerful, so powerful. And remember, if you have friends and family that also have powerful messages, we want to get them out. They deserve to be heard because we all learn from each other, and there are so many unique ways of healing ourselves that doctors don't even know about. I don't even know about until someone shares with me. So support the mainstream mission. Let's show everyone that there is another way, and let's crush the word alternative so that it's care. We are just being in self-care and proactive about our health, which is our wealth, and yeah, that's what it's all about here at Health Addict and the Mainstream Mission. So please share, and thank you so much again for joining us, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye.